The Fudd has played an important role in idiocy, an existence which has been ridiculed and denounced, served misery and annoyance alike, and carries with it gross moral hypocrisy. To understand the Fudd is to better understand idiocy.
Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 7 of Tales of the Fudd. I am Mike B, your host, and today we've got a couple stories from YouTube viewers that commented on the first video. We're still on that. There were so many comments on there. When I keep them coming, I like these. These are fun stories, and we'll be going over some interesting stories today. And I can relate to one of them. Actually, I can really relate to both of them, which is great. You're gonna like these two. These are kind of fun ones. So anyway, just to make sure everybody's on the same page that might have jumped in on this episode, if this is the first episode you're watching, I'm just going to go over the definition of what a FUD is, just so everybody's on the same page and has got the context that's going to, or has the ability to have the context to make these stories relevant and make more sense. So there we go. The overall definition is taken from Urban Dictionary and some kind of things that I added to it. So I got my little version of the definition here, and so far people agree with it. So it's a slang term for the casual gun owner, somebody that owns firearms for hunting or shotgun sports solely, and they don't really believe in or support the true premise of the Second Amendment. These people also generally treat owners slash users of so-called non-sporting firearms like handguns or semi-automatic rifles or something like that with unwarranted scorn and contempt. And taking a little bit from the second definition on Urban Dictionary, which describes the where the name came from, Elmer Fudd is a cartoon character from Looney Tunes. And if you don't know who that is, I feel genuinely sorry for you because your childhood was not as fun and cool as mine. So if you don't know who Elmer Fudd is, you can do a quick Google search and you'll get it. So like Elmer, most of these people tend to be very slow, dumb, and happily clueless. Like they're just genuinely fine with not having a clue about much. I will also kind of expand the definition to include people who don't really know anything about firearms in general, but claim to. Like they just regurgitate really trite, debunked myths, and you're like, okay, well, here we go. And it's kind of, you kind of can tell where the conversation's going to go from that. And it's funny because at the same time that they do all this stuff, they also are supporting or not opposing legislation that threatens to ban or restrict, guns designed for war or military-style weapons or whatever stupid shit like that they come up with that they call it. And then we've got another point is while they're being against army guns or military-style guns for civilian possession or use, they also tout the 1911 is the best handgun ever invented and that's the only handgun that matters, and you're an idiot and you're a pussy and a retard if you don't agree with that, and you carry a Tupperware and all that kind of shit. And if you don't agree with that preference, it's just like, oh yeah, well you're a second class, idiot. And it's like, well, your opinion is based on somebody else's opinion that told you to buy this firearm because they wanted to sell you a product and get you to be loyal to their brand so they can have consistent customers that are easily led. I didn't say that though, right? I'm just kidding. That's generally what it is, okay? To sum it up, these people fit a few adjectives very well. They're clueless, arrogant, judgmental, and usually older. But that is not always the case. I've experienced more things like this with older people, but I've also experienced a fair share from people that are not that much different in age than me and younger. So unfortunately, that means that this is going to be an issue and, for generational, it keeps getting passed down, which sucks. But hey, we can all kind of sit back and laugh at it. And that's the whole point of this. Now that we've got that sort of out of the way, the definition and stuff, this series is just going to aim to expose experiences that myself, friends, and YouTube viewers and fellow YouTube channel content creators have had with these types of people, whether it be at a range or a store or a gun show or anything like that. And it's just basically to get a good laugh at some of this stuff. It's just like, oh my God, and to realize that you're not alone. And then kind of talk about lessons of how to deal with the situations that arise when you're dealing with a FUD, because it's not really that fun and pleasant to deal with these people on a regular basis. So all that aside, let's get to the stories. So this is from Kurt Batman. Outstanding definition of a FUD. My best FUD story is one time my buddy and I went to the range. When we got there were two FUDs standing around a table with typical FUD setup consisting of a bolt-action hunting rifle and a Walmart scope. Ammo boxes said .243 Winchester. FUD round. I like where this is going. Not. I'd already be gone at this point. I'd be off the range because I know exactly where this is going, and trust me, it does. They were just standing around bullshitting, and when my friend opened up his rifle case and pulled out an AR, their faces turned to absolute and utter scorn and disgust. We asked them their intentions to put on ears / go down range, and they said that they were going to go down and look at their target. Okay. It took 15 minutes to do this, like I talked about in the first episode. Yep. So this is, again, these are real people, different areas of the country, but yeah, actually the world. And upon returning, we asked them to don ear pro since we were going hot. Their muffs were on the fucking table, and they still took about 5 goddamn minutes to put them on. Just fucking standing there talking with themselves while we're waiting for them. Complete fuds. I've dealt with this before. I'm a little bit less patient than you are, though. I said, hey, we're going hot. And it's like, otherwise I just start shooting, and then they get all pissy, and that's usually not a route I would take. So just don't do that. But that's me when I get pissed off and I have to deal with these people, which is why I leave at the point where I see the scene that you walked up into, and then the box said 243 Winchester. Yeah, that's for me is like, we're done here. Anyway, they put on their ear pro and immediately started packing up. Good. We started mag dumping just to piss them off the moment they walked off the range. Goddamn fuds. Yeah, it's like, I get that you're standing there and you want it to be relaxed and all that stuff and just kind of doing your thing. How hard is it to put your ear pro on and have a conversation at a fucking hot gun range like every other person does? Yeah, I don't understand. It's generally the older people that do that because of the world, it's your world, it's their world, you're just living in it. That's the kind of attitude that I've seen with a lot of these types. So anyway, that's fun that they left, and then you got to actually go do some get some good trigger time in without fuds surrounding you and being idiots. So good job. Bob Bobber, Bober. Fuds really, really hate Eastern Bloc weapons and ammo from my experience. I was working at the local gun store halfway through college. It was almost closed one night when a customer came in to pick up an FFL transfer. It was a nice Arsenal SLR 106, AK, and 5.56. As he filled out the paperwork, one of those egg-shaped guys that I talked about in the first video, and his elderly father came into the store. They wander around the ammo aisle, but I pay them no mind as the customer completed the paperwork. I push the rifle to him and he inspects it. His paperwork comes back good, and as I put the rifle back in its box, the egg-shaped gentleman waddles over. He blurts out, "That's one of them AK-47s. That's a terrorist gun." His breath reeks like rotten garbage. I say, "That's nice, sir. The SLR 106 customer wants a case of Wolf 223 we have behind the counter," so I ring it up. Eggman now picks up the case of ammo and drops the heavy case of ammo back right onto the glass case or counter. "This is some of that corrosive ammo. It ruined your gun." The 106 customer has enough and says, "Hey, buddy, you want to stop touching my stuff?" Eggman gets super flustered and says, "I know what I'm talking about. I was in the army." Yeah. Yeah. And now his geriatric father yelled, "Yeah, he was in the army." By now, the owner has come out of the back and tells them if they're not going to buy anything, they need to leave as it's closing time. Both of them stumble off muttering things like "terrorist gun" underneath their breath. Apparently, they came back in the next day and made a scene because the store did not have a magazine for his shitty Jennings 22 long rifle pistol. Bravo, Bob. Yeah, that is a situation that's why I don't really go to gun stores anymore. I just, it's like clockwork that shit like this is going to happen. It's like, if you're going to comment on something, give somebody a compliment. Go, "Hey, that's a nice looking rifle. What is that?" Oh, it's an SLR 106. Oh, okay. Yeah. Aren't those pretty expensive? Yeah. Oh, they're the ones that are made in Russia, whatever. You just have a good conversation. Don't sit there and like, I've had a lot of people, and they weren't fuds. There was actually law enforcement officer. Quick story, quick aside. I was shooting my SIG 5.56R at the range for the first couple times. He goes, "Oh, SIG 5.56, yeah, I had one of those. I didn't like it. I like my AR better. ARs are better." And I'm like, okay, who gives a fuck? Like, why did you have to make that comment? I said, "It's not a 5.56, it's a 5.56R, and there's a reason I got this." I'm like, he didn't understand what it was even, but he's shitting on it. Same case right here. It's like, how about this? Here's an idea. If you don't have anything constructive or, interesting to ask or say, shut the fuck up. It's that simple. It really is. I don't ever go around and shit on somebody's weapon choice. It's like, even the fuds, I'm like, hey, as long as you can hit your target, cool. And you're safe with it, awesome. You do your thing. It's going to fit the stereotype, but whatever. See, especially at a gun store, when somebody's picking something up, you're usually excited at that point. You're like, fuck, I finally got this rifle or the pistol or whatever. We're doing the transfer, all the paperwork's good, the 4473's filled out, I got the approval. And it's like, okay. And then somebody sits there, some fat fuck, egg-shaped piece of shit, his geriatric dad, that was in the army. Yeah, again, you probably flew a desk or drove a fucking file cabinet, you fat fuck. Yes, I am body shaming, and I can say that because I'm fat. So, I mean, I guess whatever. I'm going off on a tangent because I've dealt with this shit so many times, whether it be me just observing somebody shitting on somebody else's firearm choice, or I've actually had people at gun shops do this too, like people that are working there at the local one, which really pissed me off. Every time I go in there, I'd buy some things like that micro Uzi, right? That I got last year. That was all. I knew it was messed up. That's why I got a good deal on it. And the guy literally laughed at me. And I was like, do you understand that this thing is worth a lot more than you think? And it's really cool because I have a bunch of Uzi mags and they're dirt cheap. And it's like, yeah, I get it. It's a ghetto gun. It was a police evidence firearm. Who are you to be laughing at me when I'm paying the place that you work at money to do this transfer? What the fuck? What do you think? So shut up. Just if you're gonna be like that and like judge other people, shut up. Don't be an ass. Just shut the fuck up. If you could think it in your head, be like, oh, that's a piece of shit. But you don't have to be a dick about it. Come on. Anyway, I know I went on a tirade, but that's what happens sometimes when I get fired up about both these stories I've had happen. I'm sure stories like this are going to be posted consistently in the comments throughout the entirety of this series, and we'll be having a lot of similar stories and stuff. But hey, it's fun if you like watching them. I like making the videos. But yeah, I mean, just God, and then somebody it's judging what I'm buying. It's like, go fuck yourself, you fucking child. Anyway, yeah, if you want your story to be read on one of these videos or something, or you just have a story you want to share, yeah, you can throw that in the comments on this video or any of the other Fudd or Tales of the Fudd video, or you can just look me up on Facebook, Mike B. You'll see it's my page. It's my actual the page, not my personal profile, and just send me a message on there with a story. And yeah, maybe I'll read it on here. Try not to make shit up just to be edgy or funny. I can tell if you're making stuff up and just trying to get your thing read. I'm probably not going to read it, so don't waste the effort on that. Just send me a true story of what happened, like these guys have so far in all these videos, and we'll go from there. If your story is cool or interesting or fun, I'll probably end up reading it. So yeah, go ahead and do that. That would be great. And also, I want to take this time to thank the sponsors of my videos and this video. My Patreon supporters and YouTube channel members. Because of those guys, we have this channel. I've been able to do a lot more collaboration stuff that has a lot better content, like the helmet ballistic test we did this summer with Devin K. Did some really interesting helmets that I've been wanting to see my entire life, how they perform ballistically. We finally got it done because we had Patreon support, or I had Patreon support from all you guys. So if you want to do that, and we can do other cool content, like if you like my historical stuff, I got a World War I French uniform, a Horizon Blue uniform this year. Been wanting to get one for 8 years, could not find one that was correct, and they were also, if I could find them, really expensive. Because of Patreon, I finally was able to get that to teach people about the French involvement in the First World War, stuff like that. Helmets, uniforms, things like that, just to do some tangible history lessons, which I love to do, but I'm limited just funding out of pocket. So with that, $5 a month or more on either method of support gets you into the Discord server, which is really fun. There's a lot of people on there, a lot of cool information is exchanged. We do some shit posting once in a while. It's fun, and it's just interesting. I post, sneak peeks of projects that I've got going on or what I'm working on or new acquisitions and things like that. And then, yeah, it's just a really cool time. So that's that. If you want to support my work, but you cannot do that financially, I totally understand that. That's not a big deal. You can still do the usual stuff that you know how to do. Giving this video a thumbs up, hitting that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hitting the notification bell. If that does anything, we'll see. Doesn't hurt. And then throwing a comment down in the comment section with what you thought about the video, and also sharing this video out if you think it's entertaining or somebody might benefit from hearing a story like this because they kind of might be like that, or whatever reason, sharing out the video really helps. So there's that. And if you're in the third category and you don't really want to support me and you're just like, no, you already supported me by watching this video, so I do really appreciate that. And thank you everybody who watches my videos, past, present, and in the future. And we'll see you on the next episode of Tales of the Fudd.